Parallel. Okay, shall we get started? Is it going on? Yes. Okay, this is Sandeep Chakravarti, and I will be dealing history part of NCERT Foundation course. Today's topic is unification of Italy. Before we get started, let us discuss that Italy was formed with 7 states at that time. Those 7 states were ruled by different kingdoms. So, for example, Sardinia, Piedmont. These 2 territories were ruled by Italian king Victor Emmanuel. One thing to understand is, this is the only territory ruled by Italian king. His name is Victor Emmanuel II. Now, the other parts of Italy were ruled by different kingdoms. For example, take these 2 kingdoms of Sicily. These are 2 kingdoms of Sicily. This is southern part of Italy. This is ruled by Bourbon kingdoms. This dynasty must be familiar to you, as it ruled Spain, it also ruled France and some parts of Italian territories. Those are 2 kingdoms of Sicily. Then comes another kingdom, that is Papal state. You know, Papal means Pope. Pope rules this kingdom, and Rome was the capital city, very famous city. Then later another kingdom, Modena, the other one Parma, then southern part of Italy was ruled by Austrian kingdom. Those 2 territories were Lombardy and Venice or Venetia at that time. So, these southern territories, Lombardy and Venetia, were ruled by Austrian kingdom known as Habsburg. We need to understand these 2 kingdoms, Habsburg as well as Bourbon dynasty. These 2 dynasties were very powerful in Europe at that time. So, northern Italy was ruled by Habsburg kingdom and southern Italy was ruled by Bourbon kingdom, and the central was ruled by Papal, and Modena, Parma, and there was one more kingdom known as Tuscany. So, let us recap these kingdoms: 2 Sicily kingdoms, Papal kingdom, Tuscany, Modena, Parma, Lombardy, Venetia, and these 2 territories, Sardinia and Piedmont, ruled by Victor Emmanuel. He is the only Italian king ruled Italian territories. So, now the task is, when Italy was politically fragmented, it is like a patchwork, politically fragmented, somebody has to unify that. So, that task was taken up by Giuseppe Mazzini. Giuseppe Mazzini. So, he took the responsibility of unifying the Italy. He actually started a young Italy, young Europe. Young Europe in Bern, young Italy in Marseilles. He started these two secret societies. What are they? Secret societies. So, he just wanted to spread nationalism. We need to understand one thing, it is nationalism versus imperialism or monarchy. So, all the European countries were ruled by kingdoms like Habsburg and Bourbon dynasty, and there was a feeling of liberal nationalism. It all started with the French Revolution. So, France was hotspot for nationalism, liberalism, and there the feeling of nation states started. People wanted to get separated from the kingdoms, and they wanted to become a democratic states ruled by the people, elected by the people. So, this nationalism, liberalism, or you call liberal nationalism, started here and it spread throughout the Europe, and now we are talking about Italy and its unification. So, here Giuseppe Mazzini is one personality who wanted to spread that nationalism, liberal nationalism throughout Europe, not just Italy. You can see here, he started these two secret societies, Young Italy, Young Europe, and then he was not successful. He started revolutions in 1831, 1848, but he failed miserably. But one thing to be understood is his efforts were very important. He laid the foundation for the unification of Italy. That is what he did, and it was very famous. Then we all know the mantle was taken over by Victor Emmanuel II to unify Italy. Actually, he was the king. He entrusted this responsibility to his chief minister, Count of Cavour. So, he gave this responsibility to chief minister, Count of Cavour. This guy, Count of Cavour, is a very shrewd politician, very skilled administrator, and well educated, elite of the Italian society. Very strangely, he speaks better French than Italian language. Although he was Italian, he speaks French very well. At that time, France had a very big influence on all European countries. That is why speaking French was very important for the elite people. So, he was also that sort of a person who speaks French better than Italy, but that did not stop him from unifying Italy. As he was a very shrewd politician, he started negotiations with France and got associated with them to defeat Habsburg Empire. That is Australian kingdom. It was ruling Venice and Lombardy. So, in 1859, 1859, he defeated Australian Kingdom Habsburg Empire. So, northern territories of Italy were merged into Italy, and already Sardinia Piedmont was there, ruled by Victor Emmanuel. Now, the major kingdom remains is two kingdoms of Sicily. These two kingdoms of Sicily were actually ruled by Bourbon dynasty, and we come to know another personality here, that is Giuseppe Garibaldi. Actually, Giuseppe Mazzini started a military known as Black Shirts. Giuseppe Garibaldi started a kind of a freelance army known as Red Shirts. Leave about Giuseppe Mazzini because he failed to unify. Now, Count Cavour, with the help of France, defeated Habsburg Empire in 1859. Now, as far as these two kingdoms of Sicily is concerned, Giuseppe Garibaldi is very important. He started Red Shirts, and also he got the support of peasants. So, now with the help of peasants, Giuseppe Garibaldi with his army, Red Shirts, were able to defeat Bourbon dynasty in 1860. So, those are major kingdoms, they were defeated. Now, in 1861, Victor Emmanuel II proclaimed himself as the king of United Italy. So, you can say that Italy was major provinces were merged, United Italy was formed. The funniest thing is, we know it is all part of nationalism, liberal nationalism that started in France, but when it comes to Italian unification, more than nationalism, more than liberal nationalism, what really helped is these few individuals like Giuseppe Mazzini, Giuseppe Garibaldi, and then very shrewd, able administrator, politician, Count of Cavour, the chief minister of Victor Emmanuel. These three people were really instrumental in unifying Italian states, namely 7 states. Let me tell you again: two kingdoms of Sicily, Papal State, Tuscany, Modena, Parma, Lombardy, Venetia, and then Sardinia and Piedmont, ruled by Victor Emmanuel. All these were unified, and that fruit of unification was given to Victor Emmanuel. He became the king of United Italy. That is how Italy was unified. Thank you. Shall we stop?